Hi, this is Mike Knoll. Today is Friday, January 10th, 2025. And here in North Texas, the weather has really changed. Since the last time I made a video, I was outside and it was sunny and nice, although a little cool. Well, today it is snowing. It started yesterday morning and it's still going. So today I'm continuing my series on the 8D problem solving. This is D4, determine the root cause. And this is probably the most critical phase in the process because if you don't get the root cause right, you will miss the target in your corrective actions. So going in, you're going to need to have done your D1, that is form the team. D2 is have a problem statement and associated details like a process flow chart or a chain of event. You need your D3 done, which is your containment plan. Resources, time and space. You'll need time to meet and a place to meet. You'll need some supplies. You'll need a whiteboard in your meeting room, dry erase markers, sticky notes, and markers for your sticky notes. And you want to be able to display your problem statement and D2 information on a screen or print it out and hand it out to each member so that you're all literally on the same page. And you will need to be able to use these tools and techniques at a minimum. Brainstorming, 5 whys, Ishikawa cause effect, the fishbone diagram, affinity chart, and fault tree diagram. And if you need to do further research and analysis, you'll need to know how to make a Pareto chart, a check sheet, and a scatter diagram. So I'm not going into detail on how to use these tools in this video. That'd just be too long. But I put some helpful information and some links in the video description. In the near future, I intend to create some video content on these, so do subscribe to my channel, and that way you'll get it as soon as it comes out. So in D4, be aware of 2 group dynamics issues that often come up. And if you don't resolve them, they're going to hinder your progress. First is your group development stage. And you may have heard of forming, storming, norming, and performing the Tuckman model. Well, if you're not performing at this point, you're going to have trouble getting to your D4. And another thing is just sometimes a leader doesn't like conflict. So if people don't work it out, they won't reach their full potential. But if they're still in the process of working out, they'll still get to the D4. It'll just take a little bit longer. The second group dynamic issue is how your team adapts to bad news. Now, if this team was formed to generate a corrective action to a problem or a finding, there's going to be a period of adjustment. Now, the Kubler-Ross model describes this pretty well. It's also called the 5 stages of grief, but it also applies to change like this. So your team will go through phases that resemble denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and ideally they'll get to acceptance. If you go into D4 when your team is at any stage other than acceptance, then you probably won't be able to effectively come to a true root cause. You may notice denial, negativity, finger pointing, or just plain disengagement. People saying, well, they just don't want to do it. If your team is displaying any of those, then the team leader or the facilitator will need to practice some leadership. Shepherd them through this to acceptance so that you can work to determine your root cause. Now, I've got this in another video. I call it Yes We Can, Negative Nelly. All right. So the usual flow of D4, at least in my experience, is the team will start with brainstorming and they'll generate a pool of potential root causes. In the brainstorming, remember, no bad ideas and then no criticism. So have your team write out the potential root causes, 1 per sticky note. Gather those together on your whiteboard. And remember to document what you come up with at this step and every other step. And it's really easy to take your smartphone out and take a picture of that and add that to the project documentation. All right, so now you have your potential root causes out. Then use an affinity diagram and arrange those root causes into groups. And then once you have your potential root causes grouped, you label those groups. And with those groups, then you move into the Ishikawa cause-effect, the fishbone diagram. And that way you can organize the relationships between the potential root causes. So the team can develop these fishbones further if you need to. Each cause on the diagram can be branched out to further develop root causes. And it can be as complex or as simple as you need it to be. And I've found that once you get down to about 2 levels, that's where you start to identify which branches you want to develop further using 5Y or fault tree analysis. And here's how I do that is do a thought experiment. Cover up or eliminate one of those root causes on the fishbone, and then walk through the process as if it doesn't exist. And if that makes your problem disappear, then you're onto something. So when you get to the 5Y or the fault tree, you want to do it in a 3-legged fashion. That is, you want a 5Y for the direct cause, for the why it wasn't detected, and for what is the systemic weakness that allowed the problem to happen. You can either use the 5Ys or the fault tree depending on the complexity of the problem. So, like I mentioned before, there are specific instructions on how to use these tools along with templates in the resource links, and I'll put those in the YouTube video description and in the LinkedIn post. I'm a member of ASQ, and I think ASQ is a great value, especially if you're a student or an enterprise member. So other than ASQ, I don't endorse any of the included websites. You can do a web search and find similar information. It's widely available on the internet. But putting all this together effectively takes some practice. And if you'd like some guidance on how to maximize your value with these tools, please get in touch with me through email or on my LinkedIn. If you're in the Northeast Dallas metro area, I'd love to have a meeting over coffee. You can tell me what challenges you and your team are facing, or we can chat remotely. So finally, coming out of the D4, this is how you know you're done. You have a direct root cause. You have a root cause of why the issue was not detected, and you have identified the systemic weakness that allowed your issue to occur. And like I mentioned before, make a record of all your brainstorming, all the work that you did with quality tools, and include this in your 8D data package. And thank you again for watching my video. And please find me on LinkedIn as OneMichaelNull or on YouTube as @QualityMike84. May you have many beautiful snow days or beach days, whichever you prefer. Remember to help someone today and make all the good things happen. Goodbye.